I have a lot of personal interest in this AI replacing jobs situation because my own job, content creation, is one that is very susceptible to automation.
There will be fewer and fewer jobs that a robot cannot do better.
And what are the people going to do?
I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen an influx of AI-generated content and even completely AI-generated creators, which just marks the beginning of the development of AI autonomous agents. For example, AI personal assistants, researchers, marketers, etc. It just feels like this big looming threat of AI potentially encroaching, taking away any job that I would potentially want to have. And I kind of got sick of it. So now my stance is pretty much fuck it. I cannot control what kind of technologies are going to be developed and how it is going to be used to automate certain jobs. So I might as well face it and take advantage of AI. In this video, we're going to talk about how to not get replaced by AI, also introduce a concept called self-automation, and we'll explore how to use AI to our advantage, and take a look at how people have built businesses around it. This video is sponsored by Hostinger.
I scan! That bad old putty tat never gonna find me in here.
I'm sure many of you have heard about the fight or flight response, but it's actually the fight, flight, or freeze response. When people are faced with danger, they either fight it, flight or flee from it, or freeze, kind of like a deer in the headlights. In this case, AI is the danger, and we can see people responding it to different ways. Some people fight against it, like the writer's strike.
Writers, make your favorite shows, hey, hey!
And the artists suing AI companies for copyright infringement. Some people have the flight response, in which they're running away trying to find a job that is not going to be impacted or replaced by AI. Then there is the freeze response, in which you're trying to just like freaking out, but not really doing anything about it. Actually, most people fall into this category. So for me personally, I am very much the freeze kind of person, or at least definitely not a fighting kind of person. Let me know in the comments what kind of person you are. But yeah, anyways, after I did my whole freezing situation in which I kind of like freaked out and didn't know what to do with myself, also thought about fleeing away and potentially being a farmer, I decided to educate myself on AI and the development of AI, understand the huge shifts that are happening and try to adapt to this new environment. This is because since the start of 2023, every time I saw a new AI innovation, a new development, a new breakthrough, I would get this feeling in the pit of my stomach, which I think is a combination of excitement, but mostly fear. Fear that this is the straw that breaks the camel's back. The technological development that will put me off my job and my livelihood as a content creator. Like those people fired from Audible, those professional book narrators that are blatantly being replaced by AI voice narration. So I came up with this idea called self-automation. Basically, my thought process is that this AI technological innovation is going to keep happening. There's more and more things that are going to be automated, more and more jobs that are going to be impacted, whatever. But I am not going to be that person that's just going to sit around waiting for someone to automate me. I would rather automate myself. Okay, before you click off this video and go like, Tina is insane, hear me out. Whoever it is that's gonna come here and automate content creation, that person is gonna reap a lot of reward from doing this and get to shape the landscape of how content creation works. Why should I not be the person doing this? In fact, I am the best person to do this because I understand how content creation works. What parts can be automated? What should be automated? How do you keep the quality of content? Does that make sense? So yeah, I came up with this 3-step progression framework of self-automation.
We are explorers.
The first phase is the exploratory phase, when you take the job that you have and you break it into the tasks that you currently do, then identify which of these tasks can be automated with AI. There are some jobs that are not composed of too many different tasks. For example, if you're a voice narrator for books. Also, if you go on freelancing websites like Fiverr and Upwork, you'll notice a lot of jobs that have pretty singular tasks, like historical photo restoration, logo design, things like that. We'll actually come back to these people later in the video because instead of being automated, they are actually making bank. But first, let us go through this exercise together. I'm going to use content creation as an example. Do follow along with your specific job. For me, content creation creation always starts with idea generation. The way I do this is by reading a lot of books, a lot of newsletters, following certain news, reading papers, etc., etc. And then I dive deeper into the things that I think are the most interesting. This took hours of my time, like at least 10 hours, sometimes even up to the hundreds. But I've been experimenting, and it's not even anything fancy. With some good prompt engineering and making sure that I'm implementing best practices like citing sources and stuff, I was able to create an AI researcher agent that is able to gather research in specific topics and give me summaries. There are also some great news aggregators that's able to consolidate news from different social media platforms and news outlets. So I don't have to spend a ridiculous amount of time reading through all of the posts from X, all of the newsletters, and the news outlets. I kid you not, this process literally takes 50% less time now. Okay, so after I gather all my research and I have an idea of what I want to talk about in the video, I then have to write a script. I found that just directly asking it to write a script is not really good. So there are two things that I do. The first one is that I ask it to write an outline first, and then I kind of like go over it and then change it so we have like some basic structure. And then I feed the AI model examples of my previous scripts. And this has been a game changer because if you give it the outline of what you want to write and then tell it to write in the same style as the previous examples, AI is really good at pattern matching and it's able to do a pretty good job of filling out that script, with of course still some tweaks from me. This usually saves me like 1 or 2 hours for the process. Filming is an interesting one. I've just started experimenting with AI during this process, and that's because for my type of content, most of the time spent is actually on the research, and filming doesn't take me more than a couple hours. But I figured, why not? I've been experimenting with making digital clones of myself, like using my likeness and my voice. I think the voice is really good.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Sally. What are you thinking of doing next? Did you think of getting a divorce lawyer yet?
And since I do talking head videos, the image is also decent. It's just like the hand movement is not the best. I definitely know that this technology is going to get way better in the future, so still experimenting with it. Next up is editing. I do have an editor, but I've been experimenting with using Descript and also Premiere Pro's new AI features that allows you to like cut repetitions, which is I like repeat myself like 10 times, and also like pauses and things like that. I think if you're an editor and you haven't experimented with these AI tools yet, you should get on it. And finally, there is thumbnail creation. So this is probably where I have seen the less use of AI. It's not particularly good at coming up with different concepts, thumbnail concepts, even if I feed it images of my past thumbnails. And it's also not particularly good at kind of like putting images and like objects and backgrounds. At least like for my type of thumbnail, it kind of looks really weird and cheesy. But I'm sure this technology is just gonna get way, way better. But if you make videos like these Mr. Beast videos, he talks about how it takes like a significant amount of time and a lot of money just to get one of these thumbnail pictures.
Do you frequently go that far out of your way to capture the thumbnail?
Yeah, I mean, of course, everyone should. If people don't click, they don't watch. So you want to give them something to click.
This, for example, he probably can use AI to generate a lot of the balls that are there instead of actually having to buy them and fill a pool with them. All right, write in the comments below your specific job, your task, and which part of it can be automated using AI. But don't forget, creativity thinks up new things. Innovation does new things. So actually play around these tools and see how it can help you in your task. And that is where Hostinger, the sponsor of today's video, comes in. The resistance that most people have to create a website is that they think it's either really expensive or it's going to take a lot of time. So I'm going to now show you how that is not the case at all. We can literally build a website in minutes. Plus, this is not expensive and it's actually going to decrease even more because I have a discount code for you. Let's do it. I'm going to go with the business version because it has all of the AI features that is going to make the process of building a beautiful website really fast. I have a discount code for you, so you just type in Tina Huang and you will get even more savings. Then you go through a short questionnaire I solve for my business. I'm going to choose Hostinger Website Builder because it is the fastest. Hello, Tina Huang. Website type is going to be portfolio. I am a data scientist with a techie vibe. And this is what I came up with. Recent projects, data insights, content creation, and freelance work. And if we click on portfolio, it would showcase all of the portfolio things that I have. We can now go to the editor and make some changes, like for example, delete this part. I want to showcase how you don't even need to spend a lot of time thinking about what it is you're going to write. For example, over here, a small description in the tech and AI space. Okay, let us delete this part. Perfect. And there you go. 3 minutes to the very beginning to a published website. With a few tweaks, you're good to go. No excuses for a website being too much effort. You can go create your personal website and portfolio right now by clicking the link over here, also linked in description, and make sure to put my code Tina Huang to get another 10% off. Thank you, Hostinger, for sponsoring this portion of the video. Now, back to the video.
Checklist ready? Check.
After you've experimented with this exploratory phase, trying out these different tools, seeing what can be automated, what can improve your productivity, what can do certain tasks, and what can't do certain tasks, the next step of self-automation is to create these checklists in which you integrate these AI tools into the process, into your workflow. Just as a simple checklist, it can help you and anybody else on your team be able to maximize the benefits in productivity, money, and time saved. For example, the prompt to use in order to create like an outline or something like that. Now, if you're a little bit more inclined towards code, you can change the steps in your checklist and the tools that you're using into a little script in which you can just run and then it would be able to output the things that you need. I have done this myself and it's like 10 lines of code. It has saved me so much time and I don't have to risk even the error of potentially like missing something in my checklist or something like that. It's also way easier to update if I change my process or find a better tool and I can send that to everybody else as well. This is what I did in order to get an aggregator email every 2 days that has the summaries of all of the news and things like that I'm interested in. I'm now also adding something that's able to take that and come up with content ideas as well. More to come.
Life gives you lemons, you make lemonade.
Going back to these Fiverr people we were talking about, they look like they're doing things that are very automatable, like color correction, historical picture restoration, logo generation, copywriting, even writing books. They really represent the saying that when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Technically, these are people that are the most at risk of being automated. But given the low prices they offer and their turnaround times, they are probably using AI to automate most of these tasks. For some of these like logo generation, they probably just take your description, stick it into ChatGPT, and just get a logo out of it and send it back to you. They charge $10 for it. It costs them less than a cent to do. Now, if they knew a little bit of code, they can even automate that process. So you don't even need to be there feeding things into ChatGPT. It would just automatically call the API and you get the picture out and you send the logo away. This is the next step of self-automation and really leveraging the AI technologies that are coming out and reaping those benefits. These people literally built a business of their self-automation. And now they're moving even faster, making more money and opening up themselves more to more things that they can automate to make themselves distinct from other companies offering similar services. So from the previous step, we now have certain checklists, or you may have some scripts, some simple tools that you've developed in order to use the different AI tools in order to be more productive and get more things done. If you find that AI can do most of your task, most of your job, then what you should do is actually build what you've automated into its own AI product and offer it to people doing similar tasks as you. This you can do probably relatively easily just by using no-code and low-code tools and very good prompt engineering. Now, if your task and your job is a little bit more complicated and AI is not able to automate all of these things, like for example, content creation, AI can help with a lot of these parts and automate some of them, but not all of it. You can still ask yourself, which parts of the process that you've automated is the most valuable in terms of time or money? For example, for content creation, that is definitely going to be the research phase of things. So the little script that I've developed that aggregates different research that's coming in and is able to give me summaries and some content suggestions, that if I actually build into an AI product, I am sure many other people would also be interested in using it. This is probably a little bit harder to do with just no code and low code tools because it involves many different tools, many different processes put together, but I'm sure you can figure it out, or you can just hire like a software engineer to put it together for you. If you do know how to code, it is a lot easier. Honestly, so many of these AI startups, these AI tools are just wrappers around AI models, usually the open AI models with some clever prompt engineering. And then you slap on a nice front end so they can charge you like $30 per month when it costs them like 2 cents. Anyways, I can go on and on about that and how to build a business surrounding AI, how to build an AI product, things like that. If you're interested in this, I won't go into too much more detail in this video because I think this is already a really, really long video. But if you're interested, leave a comment below. I was thinking about doing one of those project-based videos to give you project ideas and some starter code for you to build it with. I don't know. Let me know if you're interested in that. If you are, do let me know your coding level as well. Do you want to go fully no code? Are you okay with low code, or are you totally fine with being pretty technical? and building something. All right, that is all that I have for y'all today. Thank you so much for watching till the end of this video, and I will see you in the next video or live stream.